Stop. Right now, whatever loop you're in, just stop for 1 second. Because I know what happened before you clicked this. You were replaying something, a conversation, a decision, a text you sent that had one word too many in it. And you've been circling it for, 20 minutes, an hour, 3 days. And here's what makes it so convincing. It doesn't feel like a waste of time. It feels productive. It feels like you're working the problem. Like if you just run it one more time, one more angle, you'll finally crack it and the feeling will go away. It won't. And today I'm going to show you why, using research that has a name for exactly what you're doing and a very specific finding about what it does to you. Because here's the thing everyone gets wrong. Overthinking is not thinking too much. It's a completely different activity that's wearing a costume of thinking. And once you can spot the costume, you can call it every time. Stay to the end for foul number 4, because that's the one that explains why the smartest people you know are often the worst at this. Yeah, it's not a coincidence. Foul number 1. It has a name, and it isn't thinking. Psychologists call it rumination, and the person who defined the modern understanding of it was Susan Nolan Hochschimer, a Yale psychologist whose work basically built this whole field. She described it as a repetitive focus on the causes, the meanings, and the consequences of how you feel, going round and round the problem rather than through it. And here's the finding that should genuinely change how you see your own 2 a.m. sessions. Ruminators consistently report that they're thinking things over in order to solve them. That's the sincere belief. But the research indicates the opposite. Rumination actually impairs problem solving. It doesn't sharpen your thinking, it degrades it. Reviews of this work list the damage plainly. It worsens mood, amplifies negative thinking, interferes with actually taking action, and even erodes your social support because the people around you eventually get worn out watching you circle something without ever moving on it. So read that back. The activity you're doing specifically because you want to solve the problem is measurably making you worse at solving the problem. That's not thinking. That's a treadmill with a thinking-shaped costume on. Foul number 2. The difference is one word, and you can test it instantly. Here's the cleanest way I know to tell real thinking from rumination. Real problem-solving asks, "What do I do?" Rumination asks, "Why is this happening to me?" Feel the difference? What do I do about the argument leads somewhere, a text, a conversation, a decision, a boundary. Why does this always happen to me leads in a circle, forever, because it's not actually a question, it's a complaint wearing a question mark. And notice which one your brain reaches for at 1 a.m. Never the useful one. Your brain doesn't go, "Let me draft the exact sentence I'll say tomorrow." It goes, "Let me relitigate my entire personality." One of those has an exit, the other one is a hallway that loops. So the test, and this is the whole toolkit right here, is one question. After 10 minutes of this, do I have anything I could actually do? If yes, you were thinking. If no, and you just feel heavier, you were ruminating. Every time. That's the call. Foul number 3. Why it always turns up at night. We touched this in the 2 a.m. video, and it applies double here. During the day, your brain has a job, input, tasks, people, noise. The looping department can't get airtime. But the moment things go quiet, no distraction, nothing demanding your attention, your brain drops into its idle mode, and idle mode's favorite activity is self-referential review, replaying, re-examining, rerunning. And there's a trap inside the trap. Rumination feels like it's about to resolve. Every lap feels like you're one lap away from the insight that ends it. That's what keeps you on it. It's the most convincing almost there in the human mind, and it never arrives because the loop isn't built to arrive. It's built to loop. And foul number 4, the one I promised. The reason the smart ones get hit hardest. If you're good at analysis, if you're the person who thinks ahead, catches details, considers angles other people miss, then you have a genuinely powerful engine. And rumination hijacks exactly that engine. It doesn't attack you where you're weak. It attacks you where you're strong. Because the better you are at generating angles, the more angles the loop can feed you. The more you can imagine consequences, the more consequences there are to circle. your analytical ability becomes the fuel supply. That's why just stop thinking about it is such useless advice. You're not being asked to stop a bad habit. You're being asked to switch off the thing you're best at. And that's also why so many overthinkers quietly believe they can't fix this. You've been told your whole life that thinking is the answer. Nobody ever told you there are two different things wearing that same word. So, the ruling, 4 calls. Call 1, run the exit test. 10 minutes in, ask, do I have an action or just a feeling? No action means it's a loop, and loops don't get better with more laps. That single question is the whistle. Blow it on yourself. Call 2, change the question. Deliberately swap, why is this happening, for what's the next physical thing I could do? Not the whole solution, the next thing. Send the message, write the 2 sentences, sleep on it, and decide at 9 a.m. Why is a hallway? What is a door? Call 3. Don't fight it with willpower, schedule it. This one sounds strange and it works. Give the loop a time slot. 15 minutes, in the afternoon, on purpose, ideally with a pen. Writing forces the loop into a straight line, because you can't write the same lap 40 times without noticing you're doing it. And when it shows up at midnight, you get to say, honestly, not now, you've got a slot tomorrow. You're not suppressing it, you're giving it an appointment. Big difference. Call 4, use your analysis on purpose instead of at random. That engine of yours is genuinely good, it's just been running without a steering wheel. Point it at something with an actual finish line, a plan, a decision with a deadline, a problem that belongs to today. Analysis with a target is a superpower. Analysis without one is just weather inside your head. Full time. The verdict. You were never thinking too much. You were doing a completely different activity that borrowed the word. It runs in circles by design, it feels one lap from resolution forever, and it targets you precisely because your mind is good. The loop isn't proof there's something wrong with you. It's proof the engine works, and nobody handed you the steering wheel. One honest note before we go. Everything here is about the ordinary. Everybody has it kind of looping. If yours is constant, if it's heavy, if it's genuinely running your days, that's not a character flaw either, but it's bigger than a video, and talking to someone who does this professionally is a completely reasonable move. No shame in it. Referees have referees. Right, comments. Tell me the loop you're stuck in most often, the conversation replay, the decision you already made, the text you're still auditing. I want to see how many of us are running the exact same lap. My bet, a lot.